7 p.m. where I'm at. So,
and we are live. Welcome to Buddy Night Wars. I am your host, Jonathan Mindham. Actually, sorry, I should say Max Rady Mindham. I found out titles are everything now in this game. And I'm joined here by my good friend, and I'm going to introduce you, Ed. I want you to introduce yourself, but also talk about your any of your achievements that you had for Buddy Fight so far, and we'll go from there.
Hi, I'm Eddie, or Eduardo, as most of you guys know me. And I am part of Solid Games, which is just, I've always been posting videos and you guys have been watching and seem to enjoy it, but that's me. Usually what I do on, what I've done in Buddy Fight, I've shot multiple shop tourneys, but I got third place at Springfest last year with my team, and I did play Florida, so that was fun. So yeah, it's a little bit about me.
All right. Well, Ed and I are going to be commentating and hosting Buddy Night Wars. Buddy Night Wars is going to have a few things going on tonight. We're only going to do one match. We're going to do admin or mod versus mod tonight. We're going to do Billy versus Matthew, and they're going to have a match. And what we're going to do as soon as that match is over, we're going to switch over. We're going to do a little live streaming. We're going to discuss a variety of topics and really have Buddy Night Wars go off. It's going to be really exciting. It's been like 3 years since I've personally done a stream, so this is maybe 2. But this is good to be back, and thank you for the people who are watching so far. We got about 14 people. So, yeah, it's good to be back and get off a little of this ring rust here. So, no pun intended. So, we're going to share screens here, and we're going to then...
Whoa.
Yeah, there we go. You should be able to see now my screen, correct?
Yeah, I see your screen.
All right.
On my end.
Perfect. And now I'm looking for our, I see Donut, I see Matt. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to ask the guys to begin their match, and we will get this ball rolling.
Yes.
And if they're watching, they can hear me, but I've just sent the message to them. And what we'll do, guys, while we're watching the stream, we're going to watch from one perspective, and then the second match we'll watch from another. If we happen to go to the third match, we will watch from just randomly whomever, and we chose Billy. And Billy is coming out of the gate with his signature whirl, which is Katana World. And Matthew is, I'm so excited for Agano right now. Like, he is just... he is shocking me right now with his Legend World choice here. I truly love this match.
Yeah.
What do you going into this? What do you think? Who's got the upper hand? Just looking at this right now.
In terms of like raw aggression, probably LDO.
Okay.
Especially if they happen to just set up first, which Matt did go first. He can get a setup done faster because, as you know, Electro Deity does take 1 turn. So Billy can't quite take him out in the next turn or so. So he's gonna have to live out Matt's next turn because judging by the deck, it looks like he is playing Agito Beatdown, which is size 3 Agito, where he's just gonna drop a size 3 Agito, and then he's just gonna load a bunch of the new Agito in the soul and just go in. So Billy does have the natural counter, which is a soul aura. It's a Electro Deity got. But I still feel like he has to open multiple of those in his next turn, and
yeah, and he lost his Lost World. So, and if things do get out of hand real quick, and he's in his main phase now,
yep.
I mean that Lost World flag, there's one, and that is absolutely right. That is absolutely right. 1 to go. But the Lost World play usually is the comeback for a deck like this. If you can't get the setup, you go Lost World.
Yeah.
Or we have another one. That's this. I love the commentary from these two, and we're going in for 2. And for those who don't know, the counter is a counter. You may pay 2 gauge, and you can stand this card. So this is
Agito also has another effect where if you have 3 or more share on field, you gain 1 life, you draw 1. Very important to note because it gives
full advantage of that.
Yeah, it gives LDO a little bit more draw and a little bit more chances to get into their defense, which Matt shouldn't have to worry about having to be very defensive on his next turn, just because of what I mentioned before, where Electro Deity has to take that 1 turn to set up.
Oh, I think he accidentally drew. That's fine.
So it's Billy's turn now?
These guys aren't used to being on area. We're usually not a big area group, but we're going to try to have fun with it. So, yeah, Billy's figuring out what he's going to do here. Hopefully he didn't brick. Usually, nope, never mind. Usually they got a lot of outs, a lot of plays. They got, they have their own version of Daryl Burke. They got a lot going on. So.
Oh yeah, they do. They definitely do.
There's a lot of ways to make this deck go off, and it's scary. The only thing I wish they would do, and this is me saying this, is they had a card that actually allowed them to go into Amy, the turn that they play. So.
Yeah, so that's one of the biggest complaints that Billy and I both had from Climax Booster, because I also have an Electro Deity deck. And the biggest complaint is that we still need that one turn setup. And I think the biggest reason for that is because if we did have that instant, turn, our turn, if we go second and we have that card that says, oh, let me go into Amaterasu without having to wait the turn for Bell's Effect, I think it'd make Electro Deity a little bit busted. In terms of, oh, let me drop this triple attacker on you right now while you're not prepared for it.
And that's true. And that, I think, also now that they've limited the spell null down to 1, you might see a card like that in the future, because they don't have overpowering answers. So I wonder what he added to his hand here.
Yeah, well, so on the understanding of, he did draw 3 because So he did draw 3 because of Goryu. I don't think there's any way to top check 3 in this game without having to mill all 3 cards.
You can draw them or put them into the soul face down, so only you can see them. So Area's still, it's Russian.
It's fairly new. It's fairly new for
the people who know how to use it are Trump and the nerds online. So
for sure.
Well, Billy's got look at that hand though. I mean, like, he went into attack phase.
Yeah. So like I said, another big problem with Electro Deity is that right now, unless Billy can't go into Amaterasu on his first turn to gain any sort of advantage other than Goryu or whatever else he can call to field or add to hand. But he does have a pretty healthy hand, so we're just gonna have to see if he does have that that nullify spell in his deck, because if he does, it does stop the Agito. You mainly want to stop King Agito. That's the biggest thing. You want to stop King Agito from restanding, or you just want to prevent him from attacking in general, because King Agito becomes a problem when he's swinging for over 30k power. And Amaterasu only goes up to 14 if you're on the new Amaterasu.
Let's see if he's got Amy here. Let's see if he gets it here. He didn't. I didn't have the. Yep. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, he's got the. Ooh.
Okay. So that's going to get some huge counterattack on that.
Yeah. So so there's an issue that I could see with this, and it's the fact that he gets that counterattack, right? But he still needs to gain life. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and especially having to pay the life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
they have one shield that naturally gains them life, correct? It's the fire, I think it is.
It's the water shield, actually.
The water shield, that's it,
yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Ceremonial Water Mirror does give them 2 life, as well as the new Soul Aura card that they did get. That's true. That gives them life as well.
Here's another Agito.
This is the set 3 Agito, where everybody gets a swat at the beginning of the phase. But it doesn't look like Matt has King Agito, unless he's gonna use his.
He could start calling over things to get fuel more in the drop here. So there's only three. Oh no, he went to attack phase, and he gets the gauge, or he gets the soul. Sorry.
Yeah, he does get the soul. So the nice thing about New King Agito is the fact that he does get that he only needs to have a total of 4 D share on field and in drop zone to feel his effects. And then Rumbling Thunder Axe, if that's in the soul,
they all get soul, I thought. So
yeah, these guys all get soul right now because the Agito that he has currently on the right does have the ability where everybody gets soul guard. Everybody gets at the beginning of the attack phase, place a card from your drop zone into soul.
Yeah.
But I think Matt's trying to go for a grind game right now where he's gonna be gaining just stupid amounts of life.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's he gonna get? Like
every swing he has right now, since he does have 2 Hara Hara on board, he gets 4 life.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh, Billy went straight into
Billy got it too. And that was good for the setup aspect, because he really didn't have a lot of plays where it was like crazy, gauge and draws and things like that. Now I get back Amaterasu, and
yeah, he's gonna get back Amaterasu, which leads me to believe that he does have the other Amaterasu in hand, unless he just doesn't. But I think he wanted the other Amaterasu just because of the counterattack. But it's a little bit dangerous because I do know that Matt does play G-Sen in the deck. So counterattack wouldn't really work if he had G-Sen on field. But I think Matt expected Lost World. That's why he went into that's why he went into Hara Hara. So. Okay, so what's going on now? Did they freeze? Yo.
Not seeing anything here. Oh, well, Billy's doing something.
Oh, okay, so I guess Billy was just he's activating Amaterasu's effect. For those of you who don't know who are on the live stream right now, they are talking through a Discord chat right now. So they're not going to be really typing much.
And he's got, I mean, the 14-14-3.
Yeah, so he activated Amaterasu's effect.
He's gonna, oh boy, here we go.
That ends Agito.
Yeah, that's gonna
hurt.
Those who don't know,
yeah.
When you pay 1 gauge and this card comes in, it nullifies the abilities of all a card on your opponent's field and destroys it. So Agito is going bye-bye.
Very, very strong card. Very strong card.
Yes.
So Matt did lose his Agito, but it doesn't really matter because Agito's effect only activates at the beginning of your own attack phase.
Oh, what do we got here?
This is the meme card. So
oh yeah, this is what happened on the show the other day. So yeah,
what happened on the show. So if Matt mills an LDO,
no! He got the wrong one.
He did not hit a D share, which means the shield does not go back to hand, which means it stays in the drop zone.
Oh no! Thank God though that the well, here comes triple attack. So it's hopefully maybe he's got another one of some.
Well, unless
no, he's taking it out. Okay, so yeah, he's. So well, I was gonna say doing 9 damage though right now would have been huge. It would have cut his life points in half.
So he did rest the Amaterasu with the rest spell. So now Amaterasu can't stand even if Billy does activate Festival, which is nice.
All right, that was good counter on that part.
It was. So Matt definitely did have the defense. Now we have to see what he does for offense.
I think he's got to go into he's got to get something big out there right now.
He has to get King Agito out on the field and swing pretty hard because now first he has to hit over Amaterasu, which is already 14k on Billy's turn. Since Billy did activate the effect right now.
And I think he's had 3 every turn. He's had the Divine Dragon creation.
Yeah, well, Matt does play 4, so it doesn't surprise me that he does have Divine Dragon creation. So now we have to see what Matt does in response to all this. Because unfortunately, unless he can hit over 14k, that counterattack is going to be swinging hard.
Yeah, and yeah.
And he's going for the same tactics, so he's life gaining, which means he's at this point he's kind of just stalling out, trying to not lose the game. But right now, Matt is in a little bit of a safe position because of the life gain he's getting from Hara Hara, which he got another Hara Hara and another Agito in hand, which is kind of interesting. So with every swing, he is going to gain 4 life, so he's going to gain a total of 12 life right now, which brings his total up to 27, I believe.
Yeah, and had to go for the double attacker.
No, yeah, he had to go for Zach's side.
Oh no! Oh no! Slowly but surely getting a little bit of that life back though, which is so needed for Billy right now. He really needed that life gain too.
Yeah, he did. But this is just Matt's gaining as much life as he can right now. So I think this is the focus of his deck right now. It's just to never die.
And until we see streaming or whatever and get his life back down. Just get it back down to a normal number.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and check if he actually plays that. No, Billy does not play Dimension Life Stream.
Well, I don't think Billy was really expecting this today.
No, he wasn't. No, he was not.
It's so interesting to see this matchup because it's like we haven't seen it, in the show, and we haven't seen it, so it's going to be. Oh, now he's just going to draw a card.
Oh, Billy's going to pop off right now.
Yeah.
Fortunately for Matt, his Hara Haras do have soul, so even if Billy does get any sort of vanity on the field, Matt probably won't.
Unless he attacks it and uses his ability.
Oh, Billy did ditch Divine Punishment, which means he isn't afraid to get swung at right now, which is very interesting.
Oh, there's one Vanity.
Oh, there's one. There is one.
And we're getting rid of what is up, and this is a good one too. The other Vanity.
Okay, so this is the second Vanity. It's the TD Vanity, which is still a good Vanity.
Oh.
And he rested Vanity. So he's probably gonna choose to rest Husk, I believe. Yeah.
This is where the Lost World Spell Null would have come in incredibly handy.
Yeah, does Billy play Lost World Spell Null? I need to double check that. Yeah, he does play 3 of the Lost World Spell Null.
Over. I can't tell what battle phase they're in because they haven't been doing it because they've been communicating with each other.
I think he called over, so that means Matt shotgunned the rest spell. Which means he just threw the rest spell out as soon as he saw Vanity, which is interesting.
Yeah, and then this is gonna. Well, it's getting painful here, but I mean, when you have 18 life, I mean, it's not the end of the world.
No, Matt definitely has gained enough life. The total, I believe, he's gained a total of 24 life within the past 2 turns.
Yeah. But now Amy though being able to hit right now for three attacks though, this is gonna hurt him a lot because now all the full bellies. Oh no, well there's one more. One more.
Yeah, he has one more soul in Hara Hara because Hara Hara did have one soul previously because of the 2 turns ago, I believe, because Billy couldn't get rid of it. And he is attacking the buddy. Interesting. But I mean,
well, probably yeah.
when there's really no target for player, I mean.
Yeah.
And Billy does not have a festival, so he does not resend Amaterasu, which is kind of big. So let's see how Matt handles this turn.
Both at 6. Oh boy.
He has another one.
That's the 4th one.
That's the 4th one. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, he denied it.
No, there it was. Oh, this could be it. How do you come back with only having 4 cards right now?
you revive a Hara Hara and go in. Oh, so Billy did place a Amaterasu down just now because he did forget. So
yes, yeah.
Which is totally fine if it's okay with both players. Technically Bell has to activate, and he does call Sumasaki. Wait. Oh, okay. So he does activate. He does bring back Agito. Okay, and he's putting one into the soul, which means.
Ooh, all right.
Okay, he's calling wings. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
Oh no! That is the problem when you're on Lost World. You just get up.
I think that was the end of that first match. Because Billy did declare defeat.
Yeah, and that was just deconstructing your opponent hardcore right there.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Discarding 2, stopping your draw, and now they'll do a little bit of a sideboard here, and
we'll go from
yeah, we'll watch from Matt's perspective. So now, if you're in Matt's shoes, you want to start first. I'm assuming you definitely want to have that advantage.
Yeah, actually, if I was in Matt's shoes, I would probably still go second. If I'm gonna be honest. So looking at Matt's deck, did he submit a sideboard for this? I don't think he did. So we'll see what he sideboards. But I think Matt would want to go second just to.
Yeah, he went first, so it'll be.
Okay.
I think in his mind, like he doesn't want to get Lost World again, and
okay.
I think going first is so much easier right now because you wanted to make sure that you can almost, I guess you could say, get the aggression set up and going. Like you got to do something this time around.
I think that's the problem with LDO right now, though. They're not a go first deck because if you drop Hara Hara and you life gain, you want to be able to attack multiple times when you life gain. I mean, now looking at it with the Climax Booster support, they do have more defense. They did get 2 new defense spells, one of them which is recurring. So going first isn't terrible, but I feel like you would still want to go second as pure aggression. I believe he's just going first because of the new Agito being able to gain you 1 life and draw you 1 card.
Now this is the new weapon, I believe, or maybe.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, when this card tags the upgrade deck, that card is a D share, deal 1 damage to your opponent. So that's actually good. Burn is always a plus right now in this meta.
Yeah, so he's gonna be burning Billy. So if he does use new Amaterasu, it does cost Billy a little bit more than 1 life, which is nice, but we'll see how much it does in the long run. Huh. So I'm gonna assume that Matt is just gonna swing. Oh, he should be going into battle phase already.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah, there he goes into attack phase. So he is going to be activating set 3 Agito's effects and putting souls into Wings, Agito, and the other Agito.
He's only got 1 in the drop, so yeah, this time around it doesn't.
Okay.
Doesn't allow him to fill it up, but so that's okay though because again, like it's turn 1, so he'll get the Milla card here now. He should be able to do this when this card. Yeah.
Yeah.
When this card attacks, you drop the top card of your deck. That card has D share, deal 1 damage to your opponent.
So we'll see because last time he had an effect like that, it did backfire. It backfired, of course.
Oh God! And that's what also then he's D-shell on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, like he's at a good point right now. So,
I still feel like Matt probably should have gone second. Unfortunately, like in my opinion, with the field setup that he had. But I unfortunately don't know what his thought process is or what his hand is right now. But we will find out.
Well, moment of truth for Billy. Let's see what if he can pull Broken again. Well, that's gonna help. That's gonna.
It's Electro Deity, so you know one of the kind of the most consistent deck. If I'm gonna be honest. So it's very rare when Electro Deity doesn't get their item. Now, if Matt had a spell null right now, I wonder how much that would affect Billy.
Yeah, this looks so eerily similar. Man.
And now Billy's gonna drop for you. Is he gonna drop for you? Nope.
Oh no! Well, I mean, he still can. If it's in the gauge, he's golden.
I wonder how Buddy Fight Area treats this card though. You gauge 3 and then you look at your gauge and add 1, right?
So usually what ends up happening is a lot of players, what they do is they put in the soul face down. Again, they'll put in the soul, the card that face down. So that way, again, your opponent can't see, but also doesn't constrict your hand.
I'm actually going to check the group chat just in case they're wondering how to deal with this. Oh yeah, he is putting stuff in soul.
Yeah, okay, so he's putting it all into 1 soul.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine. I mean, that's actually the best way so it doesn't constrict with the hand. So,
yeah. Very interesting. Oh, he puts it all to hand. Wait, what?
Yeah, so now everything's in there so he can look at it as an extension.
Okay. So they shove it into the soul and then they add it to hand? Interesting.
He got his card, and that's the one on the right there.
Yeah.
So now they put everything back. I'm wondering, like, you know, at this point, what he goes for. I mean, like, he had how many options again? There was 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, about. It's interesting because we can actually see the cards on stream going back. So I wonder what he's gonna have now. What he added actually.
Yeah, because he hasn't used Miracle Fighter, right? So
no, he has not.
That's a good target right now if he doesn't have any of the Amy's or, well, okay.
Okay, so he's
all right. Yeah, he's calling that the field. All right.
So this is another thing that Electro Deity does do sometimes is that when they do go first, they do drop Amaterasu onto the field. They have another one in their hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to activate her effect to gain 1 life and to gain 2 life and draw. And this is more common now when you see because of new Amaterasu, we have more Amaterasus. We have Amaterasus to spare now, so you can safely drop just OG Amaterasu onto the field and use her effect.
Yeah, get the double attack, get the or draw. Yeah, whichever one. Yeah.
Yeah. For this one, it was more for the draw than anything else. Fortunately, Billy's not going to be able to do much because Amaterasu does have 0 power. So he's just swinging with item in order, and I'm assuming he's going to pass turn.
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
He did pass turn.
Okay, so now you're in this scenario. You're Matt, and you're looking at this, going, okay. Oh, there's the Here we go. We're gonna have 14K butt.
Okay.
With counterattack.
Okay. Interesting.
At least we're not Lost World. Ooh, okay.
Okay, so he did drop G-Sen, so this prevents all ability destruction. So unfortunately, Billy's counterattack is not going to be effective as so long as G-Sen is on board.
This was a much better play for him this time around because the counterattack. And he does the other Amaterasu.
Yeah, because now he can safely swing face. So he can safely swing face now without having to worry about the counterattack. The only issue that he does have that I'm seeing right now is that he has to be able to hit Amaterasu comfortably. Because if he can't do that, and the only way to probably do it is to drop King Agito on board, because I don't think he plays anything else. If not, he's going to have to be link attacking, and he doesn't want to link attack into any shields.
Yeah, and that's true too. No, you don't want life gain going on right now.
But he is using Sturdy Dragon Strike to drop 2 cards. I believe the cards he dropped was Wings, and can't see the other card. So it was just Wings.
I don't think he's dropped any. I think
he hasn't.
I don't think he's done it yet. I think he's going into it. So
the smart play right now would be to drop King Agito, obviously. Maybe another Wings just so he can gain more life. And I'm assuming since he did drop Kaina. Okay, so then there's a King Agito. Okay. So that means he can activate Gathering right now to salvage out the Agito. Because it's a nice little 2-card combo that LDO does do where they Sturdy Dragon Strike 2 monsters out and activate Agito and activate Gathering to add both from drop from the hand. There it is. There's the Gathering. So
now this is where Billy will come through and have his one spell null. This is like how sick his plays have been, and I'm not seeing a response.
Nope. So Matt did add Agito. He did add the new Agito. Huh. A word from our contenders here that Matt did not know Sturdy Dragon Strike gave Gage.
Not Matt, Billy, you mean, right?
No, yeah, Billy did.
Oh, Billy. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, Matt did not know that Sturdy Dragon Strike gave Gage.
All right, well, here we go. So this King Agito, or Emperor Agito.
So he's putting Kaina into the soul. He is putting, let me see. What else is he putting into that soul?
It can't be destroyed.
Yeah, he can't be destroyed by card effects. And he is, of course, putting the restanding Agito into the soul. So he does have to pay 3 gauge, which unfortunately means he can't activate
the restand.
The restand. He also can't activate. Well, no, that doesn't matter. But yeah, he can't activate the restand. But King Agito does have pen and double attack on his own, which is a nice addition to this card.
Yeah, the only way, I mean, he's got 2 cards in hand, so I mean, like he is limited compared to the 7 in Billy, and the fact that there's a 14K butt.
Well, King Agito hits over that easily because at the beginning of the attack phase, he does mill 3, and he adds any number of D-share from there. Also, he does gain 2K for every card in his soul. Don't know if he did activate that though.
Well, he might be. I think he's buffing his stats right now.
Oh yeah.
So he might do it as soon as he does it because it is mandatory. Yep, there you go.
Oh, there it is. So he has Glime. Ooh, so he only hit Glime, and what Glime does is prevent
the critical reduction.
That will only help with Divine Execute or the Ceremonial Divine Punishment.
Well, it still gets some power though. I mean, that's an extra soul is not a. Oh wait.
Oh, he did hit another one. Oh wait, does he mill 4? Oh, he does mill 3. Interesting. What did we miss?
He does need to buff up his power. He did go up.
Oh, I see what there's the anti-restanding spell, which means King Agito is not restanding this turn.
Oh.
Yeah. So I see what happened at the beginning. He milled 3 for Agito, put the crit reducer into the soul, and he used the Agito that's in the soul to add another Agito into the soul. To add another card into the soul. But he did end up getting 2 cards. But unfortunately, it does mean right now that doesn't matter because the attack is nullified and he went to Lost World. Again,
and he goes to Lost World. Oh, it's so painful. But so what's I mean, oh man, it's gonna be hard.
I'm trying to give Matt the benefit of the doubt here, but it just depends. It all honestly depends what's on in his hand. He has to have at least 1 rest spell in order to prevent the Amaterasu from attacking, because we already know that his Amaterasu is going to be he is going to be dropping the triple attack Amaterasu onto his item.
I'm just worried about him dropping another ability null about destroyer.
Well, even if he did drop the ability null destroyer, he does have Jason in the soul, and Jason will protect that because again. Oh wait, no, he won't because the ability of the D is nullified, right?
Yeah, he comes in and nullifies it, then destroys.
Yeah, well, yeah, he'll nullify the ability of Spiral D-Share. Yeah, you're right. So he doesn't get the protection.
And a lot of gauge and a lot of hand right now, and that's
that would be very devastating for Matt.
And with 2 Amy's on board now, granted, the only probably is drawing him. He's not. Yeah.
So he does activate Harvest Prayer, which will allow Billy to draw 3 cards off of his Lost deck. If I'm right, Billy does activate Dimension Draw right now and draws 3 more. That's typically what happens with Lost.
Or
that's just good.
Search for it.
That is just as good.
Oh, we got rid of a vanity.
Well, if Billy got rid of vanity, that usually means there is 1 more vanity in his hand. Unfortunately for Matt. Yep, there's a dimension draw. Now Billy must discard 2. Vanity Cell. And again, with Divine Punishment.
He's not worried about it. Yeah, he's not worried about casting that right now.
Essentially, if Billy does drop perfect board right now, he can actually OTK Matt from 13.
There's the other vanity.
There's vanity. So that means he's going to drop another one?
Or,
there's the other one.
Oh, man. There's so much going on here right now. So, 7 attacks?
7 attacks, all 3 crit. Vanity's going to destroy twice. So, 4 times, essentially.
Yeah, 4 times.
So, Agito isn't living this, unfortunately, but we'll see if Matt does. It just depends on what's in his hand.
Yeah, the only thing is if he has something that will rest, but then at the same point he's drawn so much, he's gonna have a spell null. He's got to have one.
Unfortunately for Matt, yeah. Well,
the amount of stuff that was going off there was.
Yeah, so the only saving grace for Matt would have been if on the attack of Vanity, if Billy would have activated the effect, he would have activated the rest spell and rested Amaterasu. But it doesn't seem he has any defense spells. And that's the biggest thing with LDO, unfortunately, where they want to go second because they want to aggressively rush the opponent to win.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like Matt could do that. But he does live this turn.
Well, you say that, but is there an impact? Possibly. There's 2 Lost Faders on board right now. There's 2 Lost Faders. Oh, no, he's ending. All right. I was expecting a serious impact here.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So if you're Matt, what do you do? Oh man.
I best scoop him up, boy. Oh, so he is going to be able to search out to either salvage or search out an Agito. Let's see what he does. But he doesn't have the gauge.
No,
And
it was so
there it is.
easy.
Yep.
All right, guys.
That's it.
Electro Deity showing what they are made of. Pure
Yeah.
domination. These guys are now going to join us on stream. We'll end the Buddy Night Wars for tonight, and we're going to talk about a variety of topics and give away some sleeves here. So when they join us, I'm very excited for this. I was very excited. I think these are two great players. I think Matt was being really cute with this deck, and I think he had a lot of
I feel like such a dick. I feel like such a dick.
For share, guys. For share.
Here, I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go in here and stop my sharing of this. Stop this. There we go. Matt, how does your booty feel?
My booty is fine. Okay, so the reason I wanted to play that deck, and I'm pretty sure everyone's shocked because nobody expected me to play that deck, is because I wanted to see how far I could push it with adding over half the deck with just D-share monsters to abuse the drop spells and abuse the keep nullifying over and over again and keep bouncing the shields.
That last turn, I'm surprised you didn't have it actually.
I was praying I would draw it, but I didn't. I have it as a deck as a 3 of right now because I was trying to cut room for draw spells and other things. I was really hoping that it would go a little faster with what I was drawing, but then again, you know, I can only expect so much from Ancient World when I'm not too familiar with being a pro in Ancient World or anything like that. Overall, the reason I wanted to play that deck is because I think it can be threatening. I think that deck can definitely be for share, and it can definitely put up some damage. Like I was able to hit his number once I got that Aikido out, no problem.
Oh
my god! The combo of that deck was to abuse Sturdy Dragon Strike with adding them back to hand while having the shield and then the card that says gain 3 gauge in a life to do other effects while I'm going.
Well, and then I was going to use Ceremonial Execution, but then you had that one that I couldn't reduce power or crit. I'm like, fuck.
Well, that's why I put him in there as a 2 of, because there's so much things that have they have loud voiced clones. Every world has a loud voice clone in a way, shape, or form. So always playing cards that don't let your crit get reduced is always a-okay in my book.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
But I just want to give it a shot. I pushed the envelope. That was like a 60-something card deck. Obviously,
really?
I'd probably.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'd probably refine it a little bit. I just wanted to see how far I could push it and what it would do.
How many monsters did you have in that deck?
Over half of them were D-share.
Oh, good god. Dude, you got to go the limit and do like 45 monsters and like 4 of the spell null.
Oh, I mean that was my original idea. I thought they had 8 stand spells. That's why I was super disappointed when I saw they only had 4. I'm like, no, my idea doesn't work anymore. Quick, put in draw spells and hope this works.
Yeah, so what you're supposed to be doing is that you're supposed to be abusing Yu Agito's effect. Gain 1 life, draw 1, obviously. But I still feel like in that second match, Matt, you probably should have gone second so you can try and aggressively rush Billy.
I just like going first. That's more of a player preference than anything to try to set up and do things. I mean, I also don't want to give him the turn to possess.
Yeah, that's kind of.
I never want to give Electro Deities the ability to go, ha ha ha, Amaterasu. I'm like, well, he has a wall now. Let me at least hit him for 2 damage to make sure he doesn't get a perfect victory out of me.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Fair.
Well, but all in all,
yeah,
I had fun playing that deck. I actually like that deck a lot. People who are more perverse in Ancient World than my locals could better do what I tried to do. I just like to be greedy when I'm playing fun decks and trying new things. I like to go, how risky can I be more now than the turn I was previous?
See, and it's so funny because the one thing today I was really hoping, I'm like, please, Matt, please do not play Dark Hero Super Heroine deck today. Like, don't play your fun deck. Like, don't play your crazy shenanigans. So
you should have just played Jackknife and you would have been fine.
You know what? All right, so everyone knows me. I love Star Dragon World. I love Jackknife. I wanted to give something else a shot that I thought was going to be able to be more threatening in the meta. I wanted to see what it could do. And obviously that even though I think all those cards are great, obviously there's still a limitation when it comes to simple deck construction and card numbers that when Electro Deities, I also play Electro Deities, so
Yeah.
I understand that I can go over 50 cards and it'll be fine. Some other decks get a little grumpy when you do that.
Yeah.
D-Star is one of those decks. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely would have to refer to my friends at the shop to, hey guys, how do I fix this?
I know. Honestly, if you told me that it was gonna be kind of more of like an experimental deck, I would have tried to like. I don't know if it'd be an experimental deck, but at least something not so super like meta hyper.
So Billy, I don't know why, but I expected you to play Skull Warriors today.
Well, see, that's the thing. If I knew he was going to be doing that, I probably would have done some kind of like Skull Warrior build.
Well, to be honest, I was gonna play a different deck up until last night. I was at the shop and my friend goes, "Yo, my D-Share build is really working." I looked at it and I looked at his kind of formula and I'm like, "Yo, this looks great. I'm gonna play this tomorrow on stream." Because originally I was either gonna go with Dimension Dragons to see if they could still go, or Blood Dragon Division, because I know Dragon World pretty much well from all my friends, and I used to play Dragon World, so I have a good knowledge of that, and I could have put a 50 card deck together no problem in 3 minutes, you know.
Yeah, Dragon World will be relevant for a while. I mean, the ability to, I mean, for Dimensional Dragons just to go in Lost World like turbo insanely fast is so good. So yeah, I'm glad you played what you played, because it was more of an entertainment factor for us.
To bring back Buddy Night Wars, I'm just happy I was able to go in the first slot for fighting. I would have liked to come out on top and been like, for share, but unfortunately, we'll sing our Link Dragon anthem and we'll keep our spirits high.
Well, thank you for doing that.
Question. If Matt had won that, do we make Billy sing the anthem?
if I had won that, we're all singing the anthem.
I mean, and he probably would have made me sing in Japanese too.
I watched the dub. Leave me alone.
Oh, you watched? Okay, I actually watched the sub.
I don't blame you.
Know how it goes in English.
I watch both. It's just I prefer the dub when I'm at work. I can just kind of listen to it.
Yeah, background noise.
Yeah, background noise.
That's fair.
I think the first time ever I've wanted to build a Ancient World deck is because of LOD. Like it's such a fun deck. There's so many things you can do with it. I think this, and for sure, it's just fun.
Masato's probably my favorite character this season because he's not gender bent like the rest of them. He actually puts in skill to his decks and actually takes thought. Instead of Gal, who's just like, I need one card to beat Eden, guys.
Masato is arguably one of the best main characters of this season.
Yes, that's what I think too. That's why, and like when Link Dragons first came out, I was like, Ancient World's not relevant, and then I'm like, oh, Ancient World, no. What have we done? We made it. We made this good. What are they doing?
I know it's not even based on size 3. It's based on size 1.
Right. Like Genma's gonna come back and been like, since ancient times, it has been said, my successor will show itself.
I would have been fine with Genma or God, I forgot his name. The one that plays Jaeger.
Oh, Daikaido?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hate him. The ocean calls my name. So you're Leon from Vanguard? The wind.
They kind of could be. I mean, they're all blue and everything.
Yeah, right. That's how
they're in the same. They're in the same world. I mean, the same universe. So
this is true.
Wait, is Buddy Fight and Vanguard considered in the same universe?
Yes,
they show up.
4 of the original season, they showed when I think it was Kiri learned how to play, and he won his first match against the manager. You see all the people from Miyagi Academy in their school uniforms watching the fight.
Oh, I've never watched Vanguard, so I didn't know. Even if I saw them, I probably wouldn't have put 2 and 2 together.
I did until I started watching Vanguard. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, something's not right here.
Something's fucky.
Something's fucky.
Well, thank you guys for a great match, and I want to transition, and I love that we're actually talking about the anime because obviously, also thank you for the people who are watching. I will get to the sleeves. We do have all kinds of goodies to give away.
Everybody that's in chat right now.
We got about 17 people watching. I appreciate you all watching. I hope you're enjoying everything. They do. I've seen some of the comments. They said, "Sing it anyway." You guys.
Jeez.
I'll sing it.
How do I? What's
Yeah.
the anthem again? What is? I gotta.
Gotta look it up. But
Yeah, I gotta look it up.
we do want to talk a little bit about things. Going forward, we are going to do streams and things like that. But I felt this was a good transitional period for us because there is so much going on in the buddy fight community, and we're kind of in this weird like lull. Like, so it's kind of fun to see that they obviously, if you've been living under a buddy fight rock, the anime will end after this season. It will go into the manga, and they're gonna kind of do this collaboration period, which basically translation, and it's kind of been the first time I've actually been able to say it. The game is not ending. The show is
it's not.
No, don't. Like,
What?
Do you ever
The
see
game's
that?
ending. I'm gonna post my decks, guys.
What's that SpongeBob meme where he's like, toss it all out. He's like throwing everything, and it's like, oh, and what's your name? And he goes, oh my God, we forgot his name, and like that was the buddy fight community for like a good 24 hours. Like, it was like, oh my God. No, guys, if you read everything really carefully, it clearly states that they have issues with their studio. The anime cannot be, it was bought out, or the studio that they were using was bought out.
Yeah.
Came over. They're under new negotiations, and unfortunately, that stuff's not easy. It's not a quick thing, because even if they do settle it, they then have to do all the animations and all that stuff. So basically, there is a period here where it will be on a lull. Like, and that's absolutely fine. Like, I think a lot of people forget like things like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff. They go through that. I mean, like, it's absolutely fine. Now, does it suck that it's happening in probably one of the best seasons? That part sucks. Like, I think this has been the best season to date. I think there's great character development. I like that we have a villain that actually is like real. Like, he's like what's that?
Teenage angst. All it is just a bunch of teenage fucking angst.
But he's like you actually can like sympathize with him. Like, his reason for being a villain is actually like he wants to be like he was. I mean, they clearly forgot about him in the show. Like, they're like, and some other guy. You're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Well, listen. I just like that when he's a good villain. Don't get me wrong. Best season, that's an opinion matter. I'm not even going to get into that. Let's just talk about for 1 minute, though, that the Dan's just dead. He's just in the shadow realm right now because Ranma's buddy went like curb stomp, and Ranma's just like this. I don't know what to do about this. He just stand there all confused like, huh.
But I think that's what makes Rama really good right now, because he actually might like have like a Darth Vader moment where he's like, oh, I'm actually not bad. Like, me, my motives are like, for me, I don't want to help an evil entity. Like, that's where it feels like they're going with this. So
Yeah,
just
like
wanted Gao-chan to notice him.
he wanted Senpai to notice him. Yeah, like I don't think Ron was like pure evil, but I mean he clearly knows that Husk broke a rule by him eating the Dan, and and also you can still tell like Ranma messes up sometimes too, like between like saying that Seiji was useless and then like not realizing that the room was actually empty.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, again, he's human. This is high school drama. Like, this is like you're like talking behind the lockers, and all of a sudden, your best friend who you were just bad mouthing came out of nowhere. Like,
I think the part that bugs me about that is that Lido was nowhere to be found.
Who?
The buddy police.
Someone say
Oh
Destiny?
yeah.
No one said Destiny, Matt.
No, okay, never mind.
Matt Moffat. Oh, Moffat. Where have I been? I have been living under a very well rock. I'm back. We're gonna be doing a lot of live streams. I got a lot of exciting things going on. We actually have in the works, and I'm going to say this because it hasn't been posted anywhere, and there's only like 17 of you watching. We are going to be doing some interviews with some of the voice actors from the show.
Yay!
Really excited about that. We actually are going to have Connor Christmas is his name. He's the English voice actor for Rama. He will be coming on and doing an interview session with me.
That's fantastic.
One of the best voice actors.
I just love and he's so like, we're talking with him. He was incredibly like flattered that we would ask him, and I'm like, dude, you're the actor. You're the guy that like I'm the scrub plub that's got like 700 viewers. You're the guy who like can do a lot with who you are. And not only that, he voices oh my god, Dimensional Police user from Vanguard.
Kenji, right?
Yeah, Justice. So he voices him in the English.
Dayusha!
So, I mean, like, if you're a Vanguard fan, like, that's a plus too. So, like, it's gonna be cool to have him on. And then,
we getting the voice actor.
Caitlin, and I can't remember her name. She voices Eon, and she voiced she voiced Ku from the season before. So yeah. So
did you call me short? Bite.
Wait, who's she's voicing currently right now? She voicing Eon?
Yeah, no.
Gotcha. Okay, so she's all about strict rules. We'll have to stay on task on that.
Even though she says like all of like 2 words in the anime, and then
right.
Excuse me, let me interrupt and actually explain what's going on.
This is sudden, but let me explain. Teenage angst.
So it's really exciting that we're going to be doing these things, and I'm hoping to get everything nailed down here to get these guys on the interviews, and we're going to be doing more monthly chats.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the idea of doing Buddy Fight After Hours. We used to do that in Vanguardians, where we did it with Vanguard, and we just have anyone come on and chat, and it was a lot of fun, and it was kind of just shooting the shit about the game.
I'd be down for that.
What's that?
I'd be down for that. I just don't want people saying that the game is dying still.
No, well,
Wait, the game's dying?
Stop that. We do have that fear-mongering rule in the group now, so
that's fair.
people quit going crazy. But if you also got to see, now we're in a transitional period again. Today, the card of the day, and if you check out Buddy Spoiler, we got a brand new card for Detective Conan.
No one cares about Conan.
You can relax. Like it's still fun to see what they're doing. It's called an event card. Like
it's a fun card. It's Blood Oath formation for Detective Conan. So you draw 1 card, and for the rest of this turn, all your Detective Conan. I don't remember what the attribute was. Can't be
attribute. Yeah.
Cards so like, that can be destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, like the world is literally Detective Conan, so I'm like, okay.
White Schwartz.
I thought I really read somewhere that the card was called not a spell, but it was called an event. So
it is. It's called an event.
Yeah, Buddy Spoiler has his card type spell. So I hope that this bringing in a new element of these collaborations does offer new card types and offers new things, because it's just fun to see them actually do things with the game that we've not seen before. So whether it be good, bad, or ugly, like as far as collaborations go, if Bushiroad is to take from their titles, I think they got quite a bit they can do. I part of me is kind of scared that they are going to make like this New World Japan wrestling deck. I wouldn't doubt it. Like we could see Kenny Umaga. Well, he actually doesn't work for them anymore. But there could be this this New World Wrestling Japan deck, and I mean Bushiroad. I mean, if you guys, they do things that are fun. Like they do. They had what's her name from Resident Evil in their commercials. They have I
watched that all the Resident Evil.
Like they just got Mila or whatever.
Yeah, Kovac or whatever. I can't remember what her.
I mean, like there's like an element here where I'm like, okay, maybe you guys might actually do something exciting. Like you might actually make it like, yeah, I'm not getting my anime, but you could do something that makes me go, okay, at least I get something is fun in return. So I mean, and not only that, but they are still making sets. We still have a set 4 coming out.
I have an entire list of sets that are just coming out for the past next month. And
let's talk about them real quick, because I want to focus, because I know we got a little more information the other day about the Chaos stuff. So tell me what's the next set, not the Garga and not the Vanity. What's after that?
Okay, so you want Japanese release dates or English?
Because we're gonna get those first. So I mean, it's been pretty consistent. We've been getting them shortly thereafter. So. Okay,
so for Japanese, after the Climax boosters and the next set, April 12th, we do get 4 different releases on April 12th, and that's for Japan.
God.
And that's a lot of product.
Yeah, not that much product.
A lot of product.
And that is the 2 Detective Conan TDs, the Detective Conan booster, and that is also set 4 for Japan. Following that, in May, we get Thunder Empire versus Chaos, which we just recently found out is a 100 deity yen pack, essentially, because there's only 3 cards per pack. But apparently everything's getting support, so expect about 2 to 3 cards of support for each deck you want to use.
Okay.
Go into that.
Following that, I believe it's Bang Dream. I can't find my list, but following that, it is Bang Dream.
And that title is less likely to come to the States, people were saying. I don't know anything about it.
No. Bang Dream is a title that can come to the States because it is Bushiroad's IP, so they can put it in wherever they want and not have issues with releasing it or copywriting issues. The title that they could have copyright issues with is Detective Conan if they bring it over to the States.
But it is coming over. They've announced it. It's actually so it seems like it's clear sailing then.
Yeah, Bang Dream is owned completely by Bushiroad. Like White Schwartz, Bang Dream is everywhere, and it's just like, okay.
Well, wasn't that the game on the phone? Didn't they have? Wasn't it Bang Dream on the phone?
I wouldn't doubt it at this point. I feel like I see Bang Dream in their advertisements every other week at this point.
I can't remember. It was like 2 years ago at Worlds in Chicago. You could play that game on your phone or whatever. So I think it was Bang Dream. So I don't know anything about it. Like when they announced Detective Conan, it was really funny because being in Japan, like that guy was everywhere.
Yeah.
And I didn't know who he was. Like I don't watch a lot of anime, so like hearing that they were having him as the thing, I was like, oh shit, now I gotta go read this. I asked or watch this, and I asked one of my friends. I go, okay, what is this? Where can I watch this? And they're like, oh, it's on Netflix or Hulu or whatever. And when you look it up, they don't list seasons, they list like series, and like there's thousands of episodes. I was like, what the hell? Like, oh my god, like I can't watch all of this like without like getting lost into it. And like he's a huge title, he's everywhere in Japan, so like it makes sense to a degree. For us as Americans, it's not the big booby waifu shit, so I don't know how many people really respond to him. So like is he being a title that Americans care for? Some of the cards that they revealed are broken. they're kind of.
I haven't read.
So I think what they're doing with Detective Conan going into that is that they are writing on the nostalgia of little children who grew up with the show.
Okay. And that's really cool. Like I think that is a unique thing, definitely, that they could do, like or nostalgia, I guess. So
okay, so going back to the list, after we get the Bang Dream booster, that's in June for Japan. It is important to note though that there is no TD release for that. So that means that one set is gonna produce X amount of decks.
Wait, so, which has no trial deck?
For Bang Dream.
Oh, okay. So it's just a set and just the card. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's just a set.
I like Bermuda. I mean,
I was thinking you meant Detective Conan. I'm like, you just said there were like 2 trial decks a minute ago.
No, this is for Bang Dream. So for Bang Dream, it's Bang Dream Pico, so it's Bang Dream in their chibi forms, which is.
So fine, what about? We don't know. That actually could be like Star Dragon World.
No. So it's still its own world.
Bang Dream's already appeared in Star Dragon World. Like they've already have a card or whatever.
They have an impact that says Gauge 2 Game 1 Life. Terrible.
So let's say Star Dragon World?
No. Please no. But no, it's still gonna be like Bushiroad said, where they are gonna be labeling them as their own separate world. But we don't know how many decks that set is gonna produce. So there is 5 bands, so they could make a different deck for each band. Which in turn makes the set pretty big. And then after we get the Bang Dream booster in July, we get Ace TD2. So we get another TD for Ace, which again, just like everything else has no English release date. And then we have set 5. And then in August, we have Ultimate Booster 4. And for Ultimate Booster 4, going on the English side, you can expect that to be combined with the TEF versus Chaos booster, which means we may or may not get TEF versus Chaos in September for us. Unfortunately.
Okay. I feel like Bang Dream and Conan, I feel like those are going to kind of screw with our English schedule.
Yes, they definitely will, only because Conan is being released simultaneously along at set 4, but as far as English is concerned, we only have set 4 for release date for May, but they haven't announced anything else past that. So what they can do is they can throw Conan in June, and they can just come, and then it can take the place of TF versus Chaos, and they can just combine TF versus Chaos with the Ultimate Booster 4, which we would get in September. Because if we know Bushi, they've never done a 100 yen pack, which is a 3-card packs over here in the States. Yeah. Even though they did Cyqualia Strife, which is a 2-card pack, they did that over here, and so it's kind of confusing that they'll do it for Vanguard but not here.
And that set was weird. Like, I think
was that the only time they did that for Vanguard?
Yes, I believe so. That is
okay. So they may have
the Fighters collection was the first one, or I think those were limited sets.
Yeah,
I think they were like 3 cards or something like that. The original ones.
The Fighters collection. Yeah, there were 3 card sets. Yeah,
those were unique in their own right. So, all right. Well, the product release there is cool, and I want to see some comments here. I just want to go back into them real quick because I don't want to forget anyone who's commenting in here. I appreciate the 19 people watching. Team Butter, you brought up you'd like to see the Vanguard clans come over to Buddy Fight.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
So, like, let's talk about that real quick. Bring it back into the product.
I have like no input on that because I don't know Vanguard that well.
But even still, like, just in general, like, the game, the concept of it. Like, if you were to bring over, like, do you really think they would give all the worlds their own sets, or would you rather just see like main units in one deck? Like, let's just say we see Overlord, we see Alfred, we see Blaster Blade, we see Phantom Blaster, and those are all units within it. It's like, so we have a Vanguard collaboration set. It's just not their individual. Like, Royals just don't get their own deck. Like, because why would we do that 2.0? Why would we make Buddy Fight Vanguard 2.0? And before Matt blows up, I can just see that happening right now.
That's not what I was gonna say. Actually, I was gonna say something constructive.
Matt and constructive, where?
Yeah.
Right here. I'll let John finish. Then I'll say my input.
But I think it'd be better to actually just make a Vanguard set. I mean, you own obviously all the titles. You own all the things. Like, just create units from them that are well known, and splash them into our game, and just have like they kind of did it with Wise, I think, right? But Vanguard got a few Wise units.
No.
So no.
No.
I think they got a Ren card. I think they have a Ren. Yeah, I think Japan. There is. Yeah, correct. Japan only, but but they're not in the set. They were like promos. So like in theory, they could actually capitalize on that. And if they do that, and a second follow-up to this, would that get crossover from Vanguard players? Would Vanguard players come over to Buddy Fight then? So
I feel like if they put enough cards into Buddy Fight that were Vanguard related, yes. But if they only did like promos, they'd just be like, oh, well, we might get it just for a favorite character, but then just be like, whatever after that. The more I feel like input into it, I feel like the more they're going to get Vanguard players to come over.
So, John, do you want to answer that question about Team Butter? The particular reason why Buddy Fight doesn't have any reprint sets?
Sure. Yeah, we can get into that. Let's follow up with this, and then I'll.
Oh wait, Matt needs to blow up still.
I've actually, it's actually pretty interesting that someone else thought of that, because every time I played Vanguard, even like lately, I've been saying like Vanguard would be a lot more fun if it had counter timings or better ways to defend yourself or reactionary abilities instead of just guarding. So seeing Vanguard units come to Buddy Fight, I actually think wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. However, we already got Star Vader, Omega Glenn, Vanity Husk. So we already have deleters. We don't need them. Leave them in Vanguard. And Rant.
I mean, I think they'd have to come up with a new kind of play style if they did bring Vanguard cards over. They couldn't just copy paste.
I could see Blaster Blade as a size 2 that says enter field, pay gauge, pop a monster, and then when this card attacks, if you have Alfred on your field, this card gains a crit and plus 3,000 power.
Yeah, and you could also create the sword. The Blaster Blade is actually the sword. It's not the actual knight. Like, you could actually.
The knight is on this.
Yeah, it's like, so like that could work. And like Draconic Overlord kind of is drum. Like, attack, restand, attack, restand, attack, restand. Like, like.
Yeah. Isn't that more like bots?
No, because there's a few drums that just as long as it destroys or as long as it deals damage.
Oh, like Neo Drum, yeah.
Yeah.
You could actually. Sorry, go ahead.
You're good. You can also like there could be spells that literally say like counter Blaster Blade is Aichi's father, counter nullify the attack, gain 2 life or something like that.
Blaster Blade, like she's father.
Like there could be a lot there. But my own biggest fear with the whole if they brought Vanguard community to Buddy Fight would be the type of people it attracts. And I'm not trying to say anything bad about the Vanguard community. I'm just saying when I go to these events, I see a select few individuals who try to just be very bad-mannered players to their opponents.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be in every community regardless. I mean, obviously, the more you have, the more it's going to get worse. But
Exactly. As long as we don't turn into the Yu-Gi-Oh community, I'm okay.
I'm okay with that.
that's
Yeah.
fair.
Well, okay. To be fair, though, to people who have been playing this game, especially Buddy Fight for what's been like 5 years, what you usually did for Bushido Regionals, day 1 it was Vanguard. You played that,
Yeah.
and then day 2 you would follow up with either playing Wise or Buddy Fight. So most of us are in sync with playing
Yeah.
Vanguard. So I don't, but it's this past year where they're like the 2 formats, and now you don't have to play those other games. You can actually play Vanguard all weekend. Like, you just
Yeah, that's true.
formats. I mean, so will that be enough a Vanguard booster pull people from playing Vanguard like that? I don't think it will. I think people. Now, here's the one thing I'm going to insult so many people, and
Do it. No regrets.
Vanguard will finally require skill to play. Like, so, like you're not critting to win, and you're not luck stacking. You're actually having strategy. So, it takes a little bit more now. So, I would actually be more inclined to see what happens. So,
Yeah.
and let's see how much hate I get for that. But
I will be fine. I've said worse things on Steam before.
I'm not. I remember my fame is from Vanguard, folks. Like
Okay.
that's why most of you watch me. But the game didn't require much. Like you crit to win. Like
Yeah.
I would drive check grade 3s all day. My
Get
opponent would drive check 3 crits,
Yeah.
restand, drive check 3 crits, restand. Like it's just not worth it. So, but yeah, in the long run, I think a Vanguard title booster would be fun. I think that would be a great way to use up their resources. Yeah, their ability to do it is already there. So
Mhm.
why not?
So I think I was talking about this with my friend the other day, also named Jonathan. So what we were talking about is how they were focusing on like the promotion of the game. What they could do to take Vanguard players into Buddy Fight if they really wanted to, is release Vanguard promos as box toppers or case toppers in Buddy Fight sets,
Oh, that's
and like cross promote that way, where they would release Buddy Fight cards as like Weiss case toppers or Vanguard case toppers as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that would work. I mean, it's the problem is that a Bushiroad thing to do. Like they, Bushiroad sticks with a very formatted way of dealing with things. It's very hard for them to differentiate from what they're used to doing. So
The only way I can think of the reason why they wouldn't do that is just they're very used to their Vanguard and Buddy Fight development teams being like in 2 separate
Departments.
schedules and everything in different departments, and they just don't want to kind of get everything such clustered together. That's the only thing I can think of why they don't do it.
yeah,
They probably also don't speak to each other because they think they're better than each other. Which really, both of them have made mistakes in the past. So,
Yeah.
but
Did you want to
we-
mention about Teen Butter's thing about reprints?
I do want to go. I want to get to his comment. I do like that question because I'm a firm believer of not having reprints, but
Yeah.
I want to talk about the product still because I think there's a lot of areas there to cover. And
That's fair.
one, and I know Matt, again, I love Matt, who's going to explode here. Matt, tell me what you feel about Chaos coming back.
stop it.
All right,
No,
because-
actually, I think Chaos coming back is actually completely fair now. The
Yeah.
level of play that Chaos saw as a tier 0 deck in last season's format is now not even a level anymore. That is just with the Lost World stuff. Any deck can hit that level of play now. Those
Yeah.
cards aren't broken; they're fair now.
And then
Because
they
printed
unban
more
every Chaos
broken
card.
cards.
Yeah.
Until someone comes up with an infinite loop with Chaos and Lost World, John, go nuts. I wish that I could get support more for Jack. So I know where you're at. You know, everyone wants their favorite world to be supported.
Yeah.
However, sometimes you got to swallow the hard pills and understand it might not happen.
But
So-
Matt, we're getting Jackknife supported that same booster. It's okay.
I know, and I honestly, I'm a firm believer in. I would love all the sets, all the original stuff to come back. We talked about this on a private chat one time. I came up with 6 different character packs they could have done over a span of a year, bringing back every world and every archetype from season 1 to season 4.
Yeah.
So Bushiroad, if you're listening, hire me. I have some ideas. But I would love to see old stuff and old players come back and everyone enjoy the game, because at the end of the day, all I want to see is some great buddy fight and everyone have fun.
Yeah.
I think what the biggest thing of like when the Chaos booster, like it's not obviously just Chaos and just Thunder Empire, but the problem with Thunder Empire is most of the stuff that from those worlds were just Thunder Empire. I mean, like they just were meant to be splashing those decks, and you didn't really ultimately play it. Whereas Chaos was like, you know, you might have a dual Golem card here, an Oni card here, you know, like
Yeah.
I
feel like Chaos
like to differ.
I feel like Chaos was much more off flag friendly for, you know, like Kitabuki. Like Kitabuki never was like ran in Chaos, and Leviathan was never played in Chaos.
Yeah, well, Kitabuki depending on which one, because like I will say this: when I topped Chicago Regional, I ran 2 Kitabuki that bounced, and one I was supposed to run 2, but because I didn't get the SP in time, I didn't run the other one. I ran.
Oh yeah, Getomar, yeah.
Yeah, the one that reduced the amount of power and crit and everything because at the time of Balsalay. So there was things like that. So but that you really didn't see a lot of that until later when they actually hit the deck, when they were like, okay, we're going to take away, you know, your thousands, we're going to take away these things, and you know, it really opened up more. But yeah, you didn't see a Leviathan. There's no reason running that. You didn't see. I mean, most of the deck was auto deity. I mean,
auto deity was like the win con. It was just so strong.
You teched in the things, but there wasn't running. Well, now when it first came out, you ran the one guy, the Ancient World, the triple attack.
Diablos.
Yeah, you ran the dual golem that gave the crits. You ran things. It just
big monsters.
It veered away from that, and obviously the deck became something more. So my one thing, and I will say this, I would actually like to see, because they didn't get anything the last time we had like the multi-set thing, was more auto deity support. I would like to see them get another Baxter, just a bit, like, you know, like, I mean, it wasn't like auto deity themselves can't be played outside of no one ever made a Dragon World auto deity deck. It would be terrible. Like, but like they need another card, something to up them to make them playable again, and I would love to see that.
I will say I did expect them to chaosify like the buddy monsters. So, you know, Chaos Satsuki, Chaos Thora, Chaos Jaeger. I did expect them to do that, but they didn't. And that was
we're getting it now.
Right?
Yeah.
It was a missed opportunity to do it for any other of the different world sets.
Yeah. Now, okay, so I'm going to veer off here, and I don't want to get too far off because we're over an hour now. But I want to answer Team Butter's question, and I see Team Playthrough Days. I hope that's Charles. But Lost World is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
God, here I think my yes, it is expensive, but every world can play it. Every deck can utilize it.
It's generic.
And it's when you go into it, you pretty much win. So are you buying your win, or you know what I mean? Like, is there a reason that it's expensive? I mean, I don't know. Most card games tend to be expensive. I mean, like, I mean, it sucks that, again, everyone needs the one card vanity. Like this guy, what's he go for now? Like he's still like 50.
Actually, he's gone up because there hasn't been a vanity to replace him, so he's anywhere from 70 to 80 now.
Yeah, he's out there.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, and I get that. Is it worth having a card that expensive? No, but is the card worth it? He's a great card. He can't be destroyed. Prevents life drain. He does one ability that gets around most cards. Send it to the drop. I
Yeah.
mean, he's
You
attacking.
just run TD Vanity, and it's
and-
almost the same.
And the thing is this game needed put with all the anti-destroy from last season, anyways.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like I want cards to be expensive. Trust me, like every time I buy singles, I'm like,
Oh God,
I made a mortgage. Like I
I bought a car.
Yeah, I mean, like that's just it. Like I remember one day, like can't remember what it was. It was someone like milled my like top 4 cards in my Lost World deck, and 2 happened to be the secret vanity. Yeah, and they're like, that's like a house payment. I'm like, you have no idea. Like it pains me every time I see one go to the drop because I'm like, I can't get that card back.
Well, $100.
Yeah, I cringe, but like I get it. It's an expensive game right now because of Lost World. But again, generally when you go into it, you win. So like in a tournament format, in a winning format, like and our game has been elevated to that level. It's kind of needed. Like I mean, there's a lot of competitive players out there now, and I hope most people consider themselves competitive players. Like I think that's a great thing is that we're at a point in our game where any deck can win because Lost World helps it.
Well, plus not only that, but it's actually kind of very unique in the sense that, like, how many other card games do you know of that actually has 2 separate decks that you actually like, not just an extra deck, but just like an actual second deck that you go into. Like, I can't think of any card game that does that.
And there's still so many ways to win without Vanity. Like, I mean, granted, yes, Vanity helps, but there's a lot of cards in Lost World that are insanely powerful. Like that card that like it's like pay 10 gauge.
Pistol.
And does everything. Like it does everything. Like that card. There are ways to get it out without having to pay the gauge, and you know why not? It's just how you build your Lost World deck. If you can't afford the $80 card times 4, build the $20 card times 4, and it's probably
Just
better.
play the trial deck version. It's almost exactly the same, except
But it also
deck,
does bouncing, which is great, and it does destruction, which is great. So like it does do a little bit both, and that card still gets over like Electro Deity as long as you're not playing the crazy stuff.
Divine Wall.
If you can get around it, it still works. So now, granted, that Lost World deck is incredibly hard to find. It's out of print as far as I know, but
I mean, it does come with like 4 non-foil of the trial deck husks, so like those should be pretty dirt cheap if you want to try to find them.
They are. They're generally like $1 or $2, I believe.
And the card, and I can't remember his name. It just keeps escaping. The one you used against Matthew to nullify the ability and destroy. That card, to me, is a 4 of. I know people say no, but I'm like, why not?
I run it at 2.
I mean, it's just a great card. I mean, like, I'm saying for budget.
It's my budget.
If you don't have a lot to go off of or a lot to buy, run that at 4. It's double attack. It has ability null. It destroys. Like, that's a good filler card. Like, that's a card you would want, again, budgetly, to use. It's a good card. And again, it could screw up a lot of plays. It gets over a lot of things.
Oh yeah, I mean, you could just say goodbye to Matt's whole, 6 soul item and just say like, I'm in charge here.
hey, I play the card that says my stuff can't be nullified. I just didn't see it against you. I
mean, that's fair. No, that's fair. I
put it into a consideration, but no, back to the whole Lost World things because I'm reading some of the comments and everything. You don't need to play, and I'm sure you guys said this. You don't need to play the big expensive cards like Epoch Destroyer, the new thing we just got, can replace a regular Vanity Husk in a budget build. Mm-hmm. The new cards that were like $3 each, it said when this card attacks, your opponent drops a hand card. Play 3 of that, and then the weapon that says your opponent did your hand. If they have nothing to work off in their hand of, you pretty much can take control of the game. Lost World, everyone's been building it kind of the same way.
Yeah.
Play it to do 10 damage impact. There's so many other routes to go and explore with Lost World. Especially with all the new stuff coming out. You have enough Lost World cards now to build at least 7 or 8 different variant decks throughout an entire meta.
Well, and plus the Lost decks can actually vary based on what deck it goes in. So like Max Dragons, like you don't really run monsters because you just want the 6.
Exactly. And then even for Astro Chickens, you can just play a Lost World deck of all shield spells and damage reducers because you don't need
Somebody say Astro Chicken.
Yeah, it was me. But I'm reading one of the comments here, and someone's comparing the Lost World stuff to the Zeroth Dragons and saying everyone can play it. Doesn't mean it has to makes it fair. Generally, Bushiroad doesn't know how to balance their games, even though they said we're going to try extra hard to balance our games. However, if you sign up to play a Bushiroad game, expect some power creep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, you signed up for this. But then again, there are parts of this game that make it so much fun, and it's a lot cheaper than other card games. Like, I remember I was just reading another day that a Yu-Gi-Oh card was $90. I'm like, I don't think the only time I ever think one card
Impermanence.
was $90 in Buddy Fight was when Aster first got printed. Or
Yeah.
in Vanguard, an SP would cost me $90, or a Corrin marker would cost an arm and a leg. Regardless, it's just like,
And you hurt.
but like people say Buddy Fight's a little more expensive. It's not, though. It just depends on how you budget and what market you choose. Because if you go on TCG Player for Buddy Fight, they do have reasonably priced stuff. But for other places, for Buddy Fight and Vanguard, stuff's eye gouged. And I'm just like, okay, you got to do your homework on that.
Yeah.
It
comes down to being
doesn't
smart.
help too when people buy all the cards of one particular card.
Huh? What? What are you talking about here? I don't know what you're talking about.
Billy and I have
Yeah.
no idea what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah,
We cannot relate.
yeah.
Yeah, those darn card
yeah,
buyouts.
I
Darn
did.
bastards. Yeah.
They're
So-
like
Creations,
soccer
anyway.
movies.
I'm gonna go back over to Butter's question
That's fair.
about the reprints, because actually this would help in a lot of the ways. They do reprints. It's not as subtle as sometimes as like Vanguard, where they will do like a set, I guess. Oh, well, actually, they've only done one revival set, I think it is. And even then, I think it was a total bust. I think they didn't print the big enough stuff to make it worthwhile for people.
That was actually one thing I did suggest to them, and when they did the survey, I was like, reprints would be really nice.
Well, okay, so just hear me out. When you play Hero World, every time Hero World is printed, they reprint Hyper Energy.
Yep.
And they generally will reprint something that goes with what is in the set, or like, maybe a shield or, something like that. So, I mean, like, and here's the thing. People always complain that they don't have enough Hyper Energies. I'm like, they reprint it every set. Like, it's like I don't, and they print it usually pretty consistently with just new art. So it's not the worst thing. Like, they just reprinted the Spell Null for Katana World. And that was a huge, and to my opinion, that was huge, because that came out like set 2, set 3, and you didn't see it forever. What was nice is they just reprinted the set Spell or Null for the trial deck of Star Dragon World.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was a huge thing because that was very hard to get. That was very hard to get. You had to buy the trial decks. I'm shocked that we haven't seen like a reprint of like Danger World's My Buddy. Because that was again in a trial deck, and
I think they want to forget about that card.
That card is huge in the Japanese meta.
Yeah.
I think there are a few like Vanity Husks that I think will survive the test of time that need to be reprinted. I don't know how I really feel about it. Like, I think they should have done it as a triple R, not a secret pack. But I mean,
which card?
A Vanity Husk regular. Because it's got SP, it's got Buddy Rare, which is fine, but still pulling that is actually harder than the secret pack. It's obviously got the whatchamacallit rarity that it was hard to pull as well. And then but yeah, it's very hard to. I would say that card needs to be reprinted, and I think that even when it gets if it were to get reprinted, it's still going to be an expensive card.
Oh yeah,
because you're still going to have people seeking it unless they promo it. And that would be worth for the game.
I don't know. Promoting it is actually a lot harder than like actually just reprinting it. To be honest,
one thing
you know how promos disappear.
One thing I did mention in the survey, and I mean, by all means, I'd like to know what you guys think. What if they did a reprint set that's just like they're all double rares or all triple rares, where there's no foiling to make prices of things like super crazy, and at least everyone can like kind of get them at a decent rate. Like,
then Billy would buy out double rare soccer for Bookies.
Please.
He's gonna get
you're not
excited.
wrong.
Yeah. Like he's
You're
like
not wrong.
he's like a fat kid at camp right now. He's like oh my goodness. He's like, oh,
well
double
like,
R's.
things about like what the hell is the draw 3, discard 2 for Ancient World. Magical
Yeah.
Card is
Dragon Fair
But
Skyline.
they reprinted that. Like they did
Did they?
reprint. Yeah, they reprinted it. They reprinted in the
No,
Chaos set, I
corporate.
think it was, they reprinted it recently. I mean,
The-
not like it
No,
was.
Soaring Dragon Fair Skylines. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the pay 2 life, draw 2 card.
oh, they
No,
were
no, not
the TD.
Not DDC. The
Yeah,
Soaring Dragon Fair Skylines, because I see some people running that in Max Dragons, because
Yeah,
Max
and
Dragons don't care about Gauge.
No, they don't. And I mean, but that's fine. But that card though isn't like as meta as say, or not meta as needed in a lot of decks. Like again,
That's true.
not all Ancient World decks can run that. So
That's true.
I mean, like there are cards that should be reprinted. I wouldn't say regularly, but if they were to do a reprint set, which again, with all this transitioning and collaboration sets, this would be the time to do a reprint set, and especially if they are at a weird stage where we don't have a set name or a title that they can use here, but they can use in Japan.
Yeah.
Represent and have your American audience happy. Like and again, reprint a Vanity Husk, reprint the, I wouldn't say like bats or things like that, but like
They need Dream to be reprinted.
Star
So the
Moon,
Dream had one.
please.
yeah, and there was a lot of talk of that. I mean, I know I think Kevin was talking about that quite a bit.
Yeah.
That card was a huge reprint one.
Yeah.
And we've only seen it once, so I mean, yeah, it's worth it. I mean, there are a few things that they have consistently reprinted. They were really good for a while. They're about reprinting shields.
Yeah.
They're really good about doing the spell nulls, it seems.
Well, I feel like
So-
they did the shields because when they originally were printed out, they weren't foil either from back in like the first couple sets.
Yes, they've paid for their sins. They know. they know.
No,
They
we
know.
paid for
Yeah.
their sins.
Actually,
Yes,
you're
so
correct.
true.
That's
I
correct.
remember my first like topping like all my deck was like max rarity except for like set one shit, and I'm like, oh my god, like Battle or Circle and the Shield need to be reprinted, and they reprinted the Shield. I was incredibly happy about that, but they do need to reprint some of the older stuff for sure. I think when you have a world, it's not like Vanguard where like, okay, here's the new version of our meta deck for the season. Like you're obviously not going to be playing what was the Kagero Curse Dragons or I don't remember what they're archetypes. You don't care about it in those things, whereas you do in Vanguard or Buddy Fight because you use shields consistently. Yes, they remake them here and there, but I mean, shields are always consistent. You always need them. You always have them. So if it's a name thing like Overlord, you don't care. Like like okay, sure. But if it's a
Steel
shield,
Dragons.
Steel Dragons, thank you. I'm like, you don't care about Steel
you,
Dragon
Ryan.
support going forward because it's obviously not meta.
Yeah.
Wait, can I answer Team Butter's question real quick? Where he's like, so is this a serious question? Is it possible to take a pre-ace deck and with enough ingenuity bring it up to the same power level as the ace decks? Yes, it is. They did it with Athora.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Thor got amazing 2 cards. That was like, did it?
Antimatter Cloud.
Yeah, and actually, well, I wouldn't say it's meta, but Oni's with Live Another Day and the new Kitabuki. That was it. Obviously not like super meta, but I mean it helped against all the its problems.
Shadow Shade also got really good. And
Shadow Shade! Oh my god, that was disgusting.
Antimatter Cloud.
Matt,
Yeah.
the response to Antimatter Cloud is that because of Eternity Ring, I can now drop 2 Athoras in one turn, so Antimatter Cloud does not hurt.
Another Antimatter Cloud. I'm confused. I thought I had 4 in my hand.
Then you open busted.
Anyway,
man.
no, but yes, it is possible to
Yeah.
bring old decks back and bring new decks. It happens every format. There's always at least a few players who have spent the time and well to bring an old deck they want and go far and be that either rogue player or anti-meta player and come out on top.
Yeah,
Like-
and people are talking like right now, like Plague did get some stuff, and I do agree with that. I hated playing against that deck
Plague Modi.
in general
Plague
and
Modi, yeah.
recently. Like it's a good deck. It's just, do these decks match up 100% with the constant support of you're always getting Force Share, you're always getting Astro Chickens, you're always getting every set. Like whether it be 1 card, 2 card, 3 card, like they are always getting support.
That needs to
So
stop.
Yeah, I mean, whether it be good, bad, or ugly, like they get support. Like whereas these other things in main booster sets have not, maybe other than Jackknife. I'm trying to think of what other. There's been a few random here and there's that have gotten some legacy support in the main sets, and it's been weird because you when you see it, it's like, okay, like why is that randomly splashed in there? But other than that, they've waited on other boosters to release that stuff. So
yeah.
Well, that's also how old Buddy Fight used to be. Remember when Dragon World just had generic cards that every Dragon World deck could play? Like I was playing Thunder Empire stuff in Dragon Knights because they had better kill spells or whatever, and I was playing, like Bond was splashed in every Dragon World deck because it was a great card. They used to be able to just generically support the worlds. Like back when Cotton World first came out, they had plenty of stuff between ninjas and Skull Warriors, and especially with Magic World, Wizards and Pillars alike were playing Magical Goodbye. There was just great generic support all around. And if Bushiroad could bring that back instead of archetype specifying it or just equally support the worlds, bring it back to how it used to be.
Yeah, but they've gotten very far away from that. I mean, like it's very hard to do. Because if you were to say, Magic World got a very generic spell, and then you splash it into a very dominant deck, it's very hard because you still are supporting the meta deck, and it's still going to be played over, say, all the other generic things.
So a part of the problem, I think, is if they make too many generic spells good, it kind of limits their design space for the world, but it also obviously, like, the way they sell the cards is by power creep, so they don't want to power creep a generic spell too hard, and then then it gets too insane for all the flags. They just want to kind of power creep it within the one archetype, so they're not limited to creating more archetypes that are still strong in that world too. I don't know. I've noticed that it seems like the more archetype specific they get, it just seems like they freely feel like they can do more power creep with it.
Very true. Yeah. Also, I'm wondering, this is more of a general question for us to discuss. Now that the anime is going on hiatus, do you think we'll get more legacy support, or do you think we'll get a little bit of everything, considering they don't have to follow a path to show new cards?
That's a tough question.
Okay, so we already get legacy support that's not based on the show. They do splash it in on occasion. They do.
But maybe like a more consistent occasion nowadays. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like be more randomized. Like how, and I think this is how Yu-Gi-Oh kind of did it. Like in one set you had the main stuff, and then all of a sudden, Fire Fist came back, or you're just like, oh wow, that's fantastic, or like new Blue Eyes support. Like kind of how that rolled, where everything was touched upon. Almost every set, if that. Or like something new was always being rotated around or talked about.
I mean, I for one would be okay with that, but I could see it going both ways. Because I feel like the anime goes based on, so it kind of depends. If the anime is based on the set, then that would, I'm trying to think of how that goes in my head. I'm so tired right now. If the anime goes based on the set, then it won't change. But if the set's based on the anime, then it would change their cards released, because then they're not having to keep synchronized between the anime and the card sets.
I don't see them doing it because it's Bushiroad. I mean, like, that would be giving the players what they want, because I think right now, no, I mean, that's serious. I mean, if you were to ask players right now what they want, it would not be like no one's going, I need more Dimensional Dragon support. Like, no one's saying that. Like, you get it every set. Like, what they want is 72 pillars. They want traps. They want the old school set, like Armor
Dragon Knights.
I made that post. I made that post like 2 weeks ago now, I think it was, and I said, what sub arcs would you like to see get support again? And I was amazed to see how many people listed off some of the things that they listed off. And it's so sad, because I think Bushiroad again could print money for themselves.
Oh God!
And go, here, you guys want this stuff? We can print it, and we can make money off of you. Like I just think of like Bushiroad seeing us going, here's money, like, and them going, go away, like, what do you guys want, like you like get out of here, like, you know, like, please sir, can I have some more, like it's so out of their nature to understand what we really want. Like, yes, it's cool to get these new things and get all this support, but it's cooler to get our older stuff. Like, it's
like no one complains about like, oh, I'm bored with all the decks that are out right now, I want new stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it would be like, okay, like, I would love to go to a tournament and actually be able to play some old school stuff, but you can't, because
I just want
you would get destroyed. Right? Like, you like, for me, it would be like Tyrant. Like, I love that deck, but that deck never did anything because it just was overshadowed by everything. But they've made some great cards in the legacy support throughout the last, I don't know, maybe 2 years that make it go, okay, now we just not get our ass destroyed based on the new support. And if you give us maybe a new weapon or something like that, it would be fine. But they don't they don't tap into that, and that's the sad part. That's the part where, like, I think, like, you would see, like, again, like Frills or something like that, where people loved that deck, but then they immediately killed it. Like, it was like around for like a season. It never did anything anymore. Like, they never created another Mass Advantage that was worth it. Like, so it was like really sad to see them do that, because there was a lot of potential for that deck. Like, and then they did. They gave a whole set to it. They gave like all this support to it, but it was crap. Like,
they hit it till it died.
Yeah. But I mean, like, Athora, like we could get more Athora support. Like, it would be good. That's it. I mean, like, but I mean, I'm not asking for brokenness. I'm asking for more than one card, a legacy set. Like, give us a little bit here and there. Like,
honestly,
4 or
just
5
give
cards.
some tech options for some decks.
Yeah, because when you give every world basically equal support, it balances the game, and not just from a card standpoint. It balances it for people. Like, people are more enjoying the game and more in love with it. And I think that's the one thing that so many people, like, right after Chaos was over, a lot of people quit the game. And it's understandable, because they were so tired of the meta. And, like, it's a huge factor for people to play a game if they love it. Like, not just be competitive. Like, I get it. Like, you know, I will always wave the danger flag. Bill, you will always wave the katana flag. You two will always wave the Star Dragon World flag. Like, but at the end of the day, are you getting enough support to make you constantly want to play those worlds? No, you venture out and have to play other things. I was tired of losing. I was tired of losing with Danger World in a Chaos meta. So what did I do? I picked up Chaos. Like, and unfortunately, that's how it worked, and that's how a lot of people, I think, feel. Like, you can't play your flag because they don't support it enough. So
it's what Austin did when he went into Springfest Anaheim last year, where he didn't want to lose to Chaos, so he played the Dungeon World Infinite Life deck, and he won. Or his team won. But, like, if you can't beat them, either join them or make a deck that specifically beats them, which just so happens to beat everything else.
Also, how the heck is that Dungeon Life deck not relevant? I don't
loyalty shuts it down.
Loyalty.
That's true. That is
loyalty shut down because you needed to continuously call. I think it was Cheshire Golem or whatever the hell it was to gain a life.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And once people figure that stuff out, I mean, like, that's another. I mean, like, once it gets there, I mean, but he did it so, in my mind, beautifully, because it went into that meta and just trust people. Like, it was like
no one expected it.
Yeah,
people were like, Dungeon topped what?
Austin Summers did a thing again. Okay, no, that makes sense.
And that's just the beauty of it all. So I mean, like, I think Bushiroad with this game. Like, they always are like, oh, we're gonna make a new flag every time we get a new villain. Like, don't do that. Like, give us other things. Like, yes, creating new things is great. That's only good for you. For us as players, we would like to see. I mean, like, when's the last time? Not Jackknife, like Dragon Arms and things, like, there's not been another boss other than Jackknife. Like, give us something. My cat's going crazy.
The last time it was the last decks that were relevant was size 3 Neo Dragons, and then also Rob Russo's Big Bang build back in 2016. Those were like the biggest things that were being played at the time.
Yeah.
And also, stop giving us characters with special flags. How about you just make more worlds? I want to see more worlds.
But even when they gave us special flags, i.e., executioners, and they did it once, and they gave us like. Give us some of that support. Where's that? Like those things, they're worlds. Like give us some of that support.
X did give a good amount of support for them with Bunbaku. I mean, they kind of mixed the decks into one, but
but that's just it. I mean, like it was like they made one card for both worlds. It wasn't like they did a lot of that. It was just like, and then they gave 2 effects, like if you build a card or if you gain a card, like. There could have been a lot more done there. There was a lot of potential, and it just didn't. It just didn't do anything. I mean, yes, executioners did. They, obviously dominated the meta, but that was again an era where destruction was so prevalent, and then they went anti-destruction, and then it was gone. Yeah, I mean, it really was. Thor came in and was like, "Hi."
Well, back in
Well,
back in Triple D with Joe, Impact Joe, and all the counter Papa Monster, I was like, man, how are they going to stop this? And it was just like their answer was just like, I didn't want this to come. Like I didn't want all this anti-destruction.
Yeah. Well, Charles, I know you played Danger in the Chaos meta, and you did very well. Yes, but you are Charles. You beat to a different drum. So yeah. I'm looking at some of these comments now, guys, and I see a lot of good things, and I see a lot of discussion, and I love it, and I appreciate you guys commenting and staying on. We've been on for an hour and 40 minutes, and we had a great match in there, and I think we're at a point where we're going to end, get it done here, unless there's anything you in the comments want to ask, and we will definitely answer. But the few things that I wanted to discuss, and I am going to do another stream soon before Chicago Regional, recapping Worlds and really recapping a variety of things from other players, because I think Worlds is a different topic. We didn't discuss it on this stream. We discussed it before the stream, but there's a lot there. I think players in general, not just Buddy Fight players, need to hear about how Bushiroad handled things, and I think there's a dynamic that needs to be talked about, because there was so much going on, and not from a playing card standpoint. So it's definitely an interesting feel. So, but if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them right now. We will answer them. And then, like I said, I think we're gonna wrap up here, just because I think 2 hours is a fine amount of time to be talking about card games. Unless any of you guys want, Bill or Matt or Ed, if you guys got anything you want to talk about specifically, but.
Only thing I can think of is, I feel like it's probably been beaten to a dead horse at this moment, but I didn't know if we want to talk about the ban list at all. I mean, not that I have anything to say specifically, but if anyone wanted to put it out there.
We can definitely touch on that. I think that's
I
think that's a great
endpoint.
No, I mean, if we have other people want to ask things, I want the audience to definitely ask on, because I still have to announce how to win things.
Yeah, I mean, by all means, if the chat has something,
if you want to ask something, please ask it now. You guys have stayed on, and we definitely want, and we've tried to touch on what you've asked, but I think this is a good filler until they can write their question.
Yeah, so Overturn Abbey too. I keep forgetting that got limited.
Okay, as the guy who got his ass handed to them at World, like, I can tell that experience. Like, I really thought about doing like a journal and be like, round 1, guy.
Oh boy.
Round 1, guy flips over Darkness Dragon World. Like,
hello, okay. Darkness Dragon World, my old friend.
Like, I don't underestimate any of my opponents, so I will go through and see what happens. It's my turn 1. I go through half my deck. Foolish mistake.
Yeah. Oh no.
Turn 1 mills me the fuck out. I was like, I prepared for every deck but this. Like, I was not prepared for mill, and like, it was funny because we got talking about it later, and several people were like, "Oh, it was the best decision in the meta." I'm like, I agree to a degree. Like, I couldn't believe it in my mind that he played this mill deck. But what killed me that game 1 was Abby Mill. Like, that mill was like, oh my god, like I can't do anything. like I ever feeling helpless in Buddy Fight. I've played against that deck before, obviously in a different meta and an era, but that was painful. That was a painful way to lose round 1 because I got such tilt off of that. Like I was like, oh my god, like if I go up against this deck again, I'll get rage. I was like, no, and he was the only guy playing it, and he did very well. Yeah, I think he got second or third in Swiss. I think he got like top 4. He did amazing. Like, congrats to that guy. He did the right thing. What you should do at Worlds is not play the meta, play the meta players. Like, he did the right thing. He figured it out, and it took me a long time to find peace with this. Like, it really did. I was like, man, like, if I only didn't lose to that. Like, and for those who don't know, I did take 10th place overall in Swiss, and he was I did lose twice, but he was my first loss, and that match was painful. I played Dimensional Dragons. I went through half my deck, and then when game 2, I sided in my deck, like, or you can side in your sideboard, and I put in all 10 cards, and like, it still was painful because I didn't get to go to Lost World, and then when I did go into Lost World, I couldn't beat him. The guy had too many outs. Like,
go ahead.
John.
No.
Swamps.
I had a question. Just a quick question.
You know, my
at Worlds, did they do the? Because at this point I honestly don't know what is actually the legal situation, but at Worlds, did they allow you to just slap sideboard in the main deck, or did you actually have to do like an even exchange?
No, it's like Magic. Magic, you can incorporate your entire sideboard. You can't have less than what your main deck is.
Right.
You have the more if you want. So yeah.
You could also, if your side deck's 8 cards and your main deck's 52, you could side 2 out.
I feel like that's not true. I feel like John said, it's whatever you start with, you can't take out more.
No. If your side deck's less than 10, you can side out cards, and if your deck's more than 50.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I just
no one's ever done it, but it's just a good meme.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this: Dimensional Dragons, and someone said in the comments, my face when the Venom Swamp, because I dread that deck right now with so much passion, because we talked about this in the group chat. Like, you can mill your opponent like in one turn.
Oh, it's disgusting.
30 cards, like it's nuts. Like, and to me, that deck is a cheap deck.
$40. It's $40 on foil.
I don't think anything is above a double R, and a lot of people can play it. So come Team League, be prepared to play against. Like, I kid you not. Like, I remember we got this discussion in Worlds, and I'm like, yeah, I run like 54 cards in my deck. People are like, oh my god, you don't run 50 cards? And I'm like, guys, we're not in a 50-card game anymore. Like,
yeah,
the world is not like, and I get that Yu-Gi-Oh mentality where like you want to go and see things. We draw so much. I.e., look at what Billy did tonight. How many cards did you draw tonight in one turn? Like,
I believe the answer is yes.
He drew 15, discarded 3.
Yeah, but we don't live in that world. Like, we draw so much in this game. The one thing that Yu-Gi-Oh makes it is you need to hit certain pieces to set up your combos or to go into your sideboard, your extra deck. Yeah. Whereas in Buddy Fight, okay, I draw 10 cards. 4 of them are shields. Awesome. I draw 4 spell knobs. Awesome. Like, you don't care about drawing that many cards anymore because every card does something. There's an interaction element that is so beautiful right now that, like, I don't mind running more than 4 or 5 cards. Like, in Chaos, you originally wanted to run more because you did exactly that. You went through a lot of cards in a short amount of time. And I remember it was me and Khalil where we were talking about it. Like, he would just draw cards to draw cards, even though he had his answer already in his hand. Mm-hmm. Why? Because he could. And that was the element that made people mad about Chaos, was you can do a lot of interaction for very little cost. Yeah. And it's okay to run
soul.
Yeah.
I've personally never been a victim of Black Dragon Mill, mainly because I main Antimatter Cloud and Loyalty. So
wait, when they destroy all their set spells in one foul swoop and mill you out 30 cards.
Yeah, oh god.
John's having PTSD about something that didn't even happen yet.
No, it did happen because I realized that one of my cards, I can't remember, it was a mandatory destruction effect. And I'm like, oh my god, like, no, stop. No, I didn't play that card. I didn't want to destroy your whole thing. I was like, oh my god.
It's like you're shooting yourself in the
God.
foot.
Yeah, like you're like, I just milled myself 30 cards. Yeah, you win. Good day. And then even if you go into Lost World, that's worse. You go into a restricted amount of cards. You go into 30 cards. Like,
Yeah.
they mill you faster. It's like it was the worst thing ever to play against that deck. So yeah, Abby at 1, please. That's where this all went from.
Just go into Lost World, play the new destroyer that says you can't lose, and then they have to hit it till it dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people are like, you don't even want to run that card. I'm like, no, like one of, two of, maybe, but like, yeah, get that card and sit pretty. Like
You can't mill your deck if you have no deck.
You can't mill if you have no deck.
Yeah. It's true too. I'm one of those people like that's one of the very few things you can't stop in Buddy Fight is mill. There's no card out there that stops it. There's no interaction with the mill aspect. There's no counter timing to it. Like it's like hand cards. Like that's the other thing I always tell people. That it's the one thing that's great about Buddy Fight is that we kind of have hand traps that you can't respond to because there are elements that are great about that because sometimes that's how you get around certain scenarios. And I like that. And they've been really good about balancing that. But mill like is an incredibly complex thing. There's nothing that stops it. And playing cards hurts you. Drawing cards hurts you. Like it's a hard way to get around that.
I feel like they could make a generic maybe in the future that could deal with the mill. Like what they did with Recovery Veil.
Recovery Veil 2.0.
We brought that up in the admin chat, and I literally said, I'm like, just give me a generic card that says if you were to mill more than like 50 cards, you get it all back. You know, like
or a generic card that says put 10 cards from your drop zone to the bottom of your deck.
Or like the Bakugan in Bakugan, you know, they mill the top cards of their deck, and then there's like ones that say like stop milling after this point.
Yeah.
So like maybe maybe there's a card that's like if this gets milled, you don't mill anymore for the turn or something like that.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like not loyalty. It's like Buddy Block. You know, once you take so much damage, yeah, go ahead and keep doing your effects. It's just not going to do anything anymore. So go ahead and destroy your set spells. I would love to see those go bye-bye, but yeah. And the one thing that gets around that is returning them to the hand.
Around the World of Thor SD.
No, Brawl Zeus, you know, there's a few things that get around it without the destruction aspect. So I think they, but once you play it again, it's really hard. So
just drop that Lost World deck and play some vanities and just send it all to the drop zone.
But
or just overturn Mazaria, that son bitch.
Are you right?
No, but yeah, it only works in
Legend World and Dungeon World.
Yeah, Legend World being a relevant deck now.
I mean, everyone playing those two decks should at least have 2 copies in their sideboard or in their main board, just to I'm about to lose. Reset this game. Give me a second.
1 and 1. You
yeah,
go one in your deck, one on your side, and it's there in case you need it. And
reject that reality and substitute your own. Like,
but what else was on the list? They had
chest break the Venom Swamps. Okay, that could work too.
Yeah, I feel it's. I don't know how worth that is, but
I mean, if it's your only answer because you can't play anything else because you're playing like Rogue the deck or something, you know.
But they play as many as they want.
Yeah,
that was their first mistake. Push your road. Like, why?
Getting rid of 2 out of like 7 ain't gonna do anything, guys. It's still...
No. Here's what you do: you pray before the game, and then your opponent opens 7 Venom Swamps.
Yes.
And you win.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Quality memes.
I can't remember. I know they had that Magic World card that like they use in Darkness Dragon World. Actually, it was the one that actually
Black Siege Pen.
Yeah, that card was done to stop and curve Cursed Dragons.
Yep.
Not Cursed Dragons.
Cursed Dragons.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, no, I'm right. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm thinking Venom again. But yeah, that card was done to do that, so that makes sense. Like
Future proofing.
You just were doing, the plays for days basically, and again, not allowing your opponent to have interaction. The LOD Ancient World card, same thing.
Adamant Quartz. It's not LDO, but it creates.
They used it for that or to set up plays for that. That completely understandable. I mean, again, they realized the error of their ways for one card and fixed it. I think, in my personal opinion, and again, I'll be the bad guy here, they should have brought some of the chaos cards off the list.
No.
Yes,
No.
yes. Because chaos is why keep some things restricted? Like, I mean, like, I think overturn or overkill is not nearly as scary as it was. So, like, give us Gear God.
That
I mean,
would.
Yeah,
Probably
bring back your search for any spell. Just bring it all back. You'll
we
get
didn't
it
have that
back.
card. That
Stop
card,
it.
that card you can keep limited. Give me that Gear Guard.
What was? I'm trying to think of, because I felt like there was like a couple cards that I felt like would be fine if that could come back for chaos.
They had Lattice, which again requires 2
Oh, and
games.
if Talon came back, you guys would never have to worry about Mill ever again.
What's that?
Why does the chaos can stay banned? I'm okay
Chaos
with that.
Deathalica, if that came back, you guys would be set.
No, but I didn't say that card. There would be like a few cards that absolutely should. I feel like don't need to be restricted anymore. Like it was like, okay, like what's Tirachota Gear God? Okay, what? Like why is that at one?
Machining. I feel like
Machine
machining sacrifice
sacrifice can come
may
off.
be able to come back.
Like, yeah.
Well, that was a little excessive because you would just sack this off, bring out Tetra again or something.
Yeah.
Sacrifice was the only one that I'll be okay with.
But you're telling me the Gear God Searcher you would like at one is still needed?
Stop it!
John,
Come on!
you just said Khalil drew because he felt like he could draw.
You just-
And
It's only once per turn. Like it's not like you're casting 4 of them.
yeah, but it's still like it was the
I
consistency
don't want to give
aspect
Chaos
of it.
any more bright ideas, okay?
Oh my god! I hope I get some auto deity support, and I will come for all of you.
Yo, I hope that I have a new jackknife that says I blow up your entire field and burn you 12.
Okay, Jackknife no longer is allowed to get support because you took away my God Punk SP. And I lay awake at night hating Jackknife. Like I literally am going, I hate Matt.
When
And
he
I'll be sitting at dinner and I'll be sitting there talking to myself. I'm like, God damn Matt having goddamn
Well,
Jackknife.
John Ovi,
Hey,
Here's the sad part.
that
Jack
we saw play once, and I said I hated it because I lost to a God Punk player because I drew it. And I went, yeah, so you can have your win. I don't,
Yes. All right, I'm feeling much better. But yeah, I think in the long run, like I don't know that era of cards or whatever. Like I don't think those cards are as threatening as they are right now. I don't think. I think we should test it. Let me have certain cards back, and let's see how they do against other decks.
or
still
just
broken.
not touch it. All right.
Whatever. Anywho,
Whatever.
I don't know if there was anything else on the list.
Just ban Daryl Burke.
We had obstruct. Yes, absolutely.
Obstruct.
Yeah.
So
Thank
if-
God.
Obstruct was a
here-
good thing for a bad meta, and that ended up making metas worse.
Speaking of obstruct, I feel like the reason they banned it was because just to sell their Lost World cards. Because if they never banned it obstruct, Lost World would not be as popular.
Oh no! The reason they banned obstruct is because there is a very little known, for whatever reason, Magic World loop that you can do with Deity Magic Circle, where if you get one
Oh
obstruct in
yeah.
the top zone, you can just keep on recycling it every turn at the beginning of your opponent's turn, and your opponent never gets to draw by card effects ever again.
Gotcha. But
That-
still, also obstruct being banned also helped the draw cards for Lost World. So if obstruct was still in the meta, Lost World wouldn't be as prevalent. Because
Yeah, I think,
draw by card
they tested it at 1, and it was obviously people still know how to play. And then obviously there was a Magic World loop, which probably would have made Magic World more dominant.
I feel
So,
like
yeah.
I feel like they could have just fixed that by just saying grab a Magic World spell from the drop.
Yeah, and that
Instead
could
of
have been
a card.
They don't really errata, really. They really, I mean, they do and they don't.
Well, I mean in playtesting, not now
Yeah.
like post.
Oh, sure.
Really
They
erratas.
could do Yu-Gi-Oh! Where Yu-Gi-Oh! Like they had a lot of cards that were like, we're never getting off the ban list, and they went through and like, well, we could just fix that text, and,
Yeah.
and then and then that's what they've done. Like there's a lot of cards on there that they've done that with. So
Yeah.
I think that's an idea they could have searched or done, but whatever. Like Gambit, like for us, like they got it at 1 right now. Still, it's like, is anyone playing that loop? That was that loop, the use all the Dragon World spells and all that stuff. Like
No. Plus, I mean, it's already at once per turn. It was eroded at once per turn.
Yeah, it was a run exactly. So that was just it. Like they could have changed that around, like, but they didn't. So.
Plus, they're doing more like you can only call this monster like once per turn, anyways, to not abuse Gambit as much.
They were. Anywho, let's see what the questions we got in the audience here. Right?
They asked about God Punks and Thunder Empire.
One person did ask about what our favorite. Yeah, counter timing. But well, I figured I don't know. Again, I don't know if
we don't have enough. I don't think we have enough time to cover that.
Yeah, I didn't know if you want to do just like favorite ace deck. Maybe that'd be kind of quick and.
Who's a favorite ace deck right now?
Yeah, like in the ace game or season, what's your favorite deck? Of course.
You know, just for the view of it, for share.
Man,
that's fair.
I gotta go with Godpunk.
I was kind of curious if you're going to say Godpunk or if like you like D-Dragon. So
Dimensional Dragons again is a necessary evil for me. Like I play it because like that's the meta deck. Like I think Godpunk's a great deck. I don't find Godpunk to be the most meta deck right now. So I play the competitive aspect of it all, and I do like it. I mean, like it's like, oh, let me just draw half my deck again.
Yeah,
that part is interesting, and at the same point, I've also completely whiffed in Dimensional Dragons, where I'm like, oh, I drew 4 weapons. It's like, what do I do? You know? So
yeah, and it probably doesn't come as a surprise that Electro Deities are my favorite so far this season.
Electro Deity is the best deck this season. Like I will, hands down.
Like the thing is like they have like great female characters for the deck. It's just a strong deck on its own, but then it also synergizes with the Lost so well. And it's just like, draw.
All right, did I do it? Did I get Lost World yet? No. All right, draw one more card.
Gauge 3, check gauge.
Yeah, you sound like you're speaking from experience.
I am.
Yeah. So.
That deck is extremely viable right now.
Yeah.
That deck is very good.
What was the other? You guys talked about. What else was questions in the?
The counter timing. I feel like you could milk that for
KFC.
Like, the what?
Someone goes Eddie and his goddamn space KFC.
Eric, fuck off.
I need my edge, he says. Listen, I'm just wondering if Dan's gonna come back from the dead.
He's the dead.
Like he's the dead. He's actually just the dead. like, and the funny part was they did the same thing with the Shadow Shade player. They sent him to like the Shadow Realm, and then he's in like the ending of the Triple D series, and we're all like, where did he come from?
Yeah,
how did he get back here? Bushiroad, why are you not filling in these plot holes?
I feel like if anything, they probably just put him in the back as a background character and forgot that he was sent to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, but then again, the dead is more of a relevant character this season than he ever was. The Shadow Shade player, like Tasuku, just clapped him real quick. Tasuku's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna burn your ass to death." Jack and Fang penetrate. Ugh.
All right. Any other questions there, guys? I think we got everything in there. I appreciate everyone watching. We had a great show tonight. Where did Sophia go? We've actually, as admins, have talked about older characters coming back. Now, sadly, because the anime is ending to a degree.
Sophia's in the kitchen making Tasuku's dinner.
Oh
boy, shit. Some advice you can give to a player that is trying to get into the competitive scene in Buddy Fight. Well, we kind of talked a little bit about Lost World. I think what you need to do is go into this game kind of going, okay, what deck do I like? What's the support level? And I think you got to go gauge it off of there. You know, what do you like to play? Because every world does have a viable deck right now. I think everyone's got their version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like unless you're Darkness Dragon World, where you just have 2 decks at one time. You know, like everyone. But if you want to play something older, you really got to look at what new elements can go into the older deck that, as Matt called it, kind of like generic support for your world. Like, you know, like, which is a nice thing. And I always talk about this with like Godpunk. Godpunk cards are incredibly splashable in a lot of other Danger World decks. Like there's not actually, I mean, like the Brawl Zeus is playable in decks. The set spell that allows you to engage or discard a card is playable in any deck. There's no requirements for it. So like there's things like that can help older decks. So it really depends on what you want to do. But if you want to be competitive, you got to look at the current decks, the meta, and go, okay, this is what I'm going to play going forward, and I need to perfect this. And I generally say this, it's proven to be really truthful for me. Play against every deck. Play against everything. Like I should have played against the stupid Abigail Mill deck because I didn't expect it. Like I expect the unexpected. Like that is like I think we just talked about Austin Summers going and topping with a deck that was not heard of and did very well with it and got his team a beautiful Exalted Flag. And I say that because that's the prize, man. That's the prize right now. That's what you want to aim your eye. Matt, you got one.
Yep.
You got a beautiful Exalted Flag. Your team did really well.
Hey, you, Matt.
Which flag did you get, Matt?
I got the Star Dragon World flag. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I kind of assumed, but
what was it? My team, one got Dragon World, one got Zwei, and I got Star Dragon World.
okay. Nice.
Yeah, we didn't think they were ever coming back. We thought that was the end of it.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
I ended up buying one, and I'm really happy about it because like I got it for Dragon World, and I play 2 Dragon World decks right now, Dimensional Dragons and Blood Dragons, and like I'm actually really excited about Blood Dragons, but I think like that flag, I mean like I love Kevin. I don't know what happened with him, but he got like the heaven,
the Guardian,
the Guardian flag. Don't get me on like get a flag that's gonna last for a long time. Like I know people who got Chaos and then Chaos died. Like get something that's gonna last the test of time because you'll always be able to use it. But it's just me being preachy about it. But like but as far as competitive, play against everything, constantly test. Like those are the things that help you. Like know your meta. Know your meta.
Also, ask your friends at your locals if you have a locals. That's why I start off by saying that. Ask them what they think would best suit you. Try out some of their decks first. Play more of a learning environment before you join a tournament. Even though tournament level 1 is a learning environment, get a basic grasp of the rules of the game.
Well, plus, just in regards to like generic cards that might help your deck in like the new seasons, like for an example, Electro Beast Goryu. Like I never thought until after it finally came out that I was like, oh hey, that's like super generic and a Daryl Burke. I was like, why did I not get like more copies of this?
Stop.
All right. We can still talk, but because we are going to come on the end of the show, guys, and I want to tell you guys how to win this, and you guys have been so good about watching and staying on. So I just posted in the group just a photo of the Buddy Night Wars logo. I want you to go on there. I want you to comment. Well, first like this video, comment what you would like to see going forward, what more content. Like we as the admins and the mod teams, we've been trying to really stir some things up. We're doing discussions, card of the days. We're trying to do more streams. We're trying to do more things. I want to know what you want to see. You as the viewing audience, but also as the members of this community, the content that you want to see. Do you want to see deck? I mean, you want to see deck profiles. That is
I post those.
And I was going to say, Ed does a great job, but I want to know more. I want to know what other things you as the player base want to see, because we get deck profiles are a huge part of this game, but that's not, we all can't do that. Like it's one of those things where there's certain channels that do check out a lot of these, like Plays for Days. They're coming back. He made a great post about that today. He's talking about that. Like I don't know other big ones right now, but I feel like there's a buddy fight resurgence coming on, and I feel like that's so good for us on so many levels. This is a good year to do it. It's early. We would like to know what more you want to see. So go to that post, comment below, like this video, and then at midnight, which is about an hour, I'll randomly generate 3 winners.
Bad, it's midnight here.
Oh, sorry, midnight for me, which is in an hour. So 1 a.m. East Coast. I'll generate 3 winners, and we'll give away. You'll get 2 sets, so you're gonna get enough to have main and buddy, or main and side, and all that, so you don't have to worry about it. And based on who I pick first, we'll get to pick one, and then you get the second person will get to pick the other one, and then the third person gets what's remaining. So go on there, please comment, please like this video. Again, all you have to do is tell me what content you would like to see, and not just from us, not from the admins, from in general. What are the things that you as a member of this community want? Like I guess you could say we've been very inactive And it's because I think from a lot of it is because the community is at a weird state, or was at a weird state, and people were like leaving, and now we're bouncing back, and now we got this great kind of like, we don't know what's going to happen soon. I mean, like, I don't know what Conan is going to do, or Detective Conan is going to do, but like,
Hopefully nothing.
I'm excited. Like, I'm excited to see the where Bushiroad goes with it. I do look forward to. I don't get scared of change, because I think change is good for any card game.
Not Detective Conan.
But regardless of Detective Conan, if you look at the effects and you look at what the cards do, I want to know what your guys' thoughts on that. But that's, we as a community, we can only grow and get better is if we know what you want. So I think that's where I'm not trying to be preachy, but like, I think that's been the longest time we didn't know what people want, other than deck lists. We get it. We get deck lists are huge. Like,
Oh
we
my god.
see that all the time. And like, unfortunately, I'm a firm believer, and I've said this and many, many times, is deck list should be catered to your needs. Like, so if you're an aggressive player, build your deck aggressively. If you're a control player, build your deck to be control. And some people are like, I just need a generic start. That's understandable. And I think a lot of us generally know that you're going to run 4 of something, or 4 of this, or 4 of that, or you know, Spell Null is there. You're going to run 2 or 3 of that easily, like, so things like that. So, but again, comment in that, and the Just the Buddy Night logos, your green dragon shield, light blue background. Like this video, please tell us what you want. Like I said, in about an hour, I'll pick 3 random people, and we will make sure you get some card sleeves. And the reason we're going with Lost World this whole time, I have tons of product, is because we do have Connor Christmas going to be coming up and joining us for an interview, and he's Rama. So in the show, so I thought it was fun to kind of tie that in. So
Yeah.
Have a good night, all.
Yeah. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for
thank
watching.
you so much for watching, guys. I really wish you a great evening, and we'll continue to do great things. I think everyone here is pretty pumped up, right? We had this,
For share.
for sure. So, yeah, thank you again for all
Toki,
watching, and you have a great evening, and we will have something very soon. I have new announcements coming really soon. So thank you all.
Bye, guys.